Binge the full week of The Ray Taylor Show ad-free over at inspireddisorder.com/plus.
This is The Ray Taylor Show.
Rayz Dayz, episode 192. This is a weekly diary podcast hosted by me, Ray Taylor. Every Saturday, I share updates on my journey as an artist, podcaster, business owner, and human being. I'm excited to share my experiences with you and hope that my journey can serve as a source of inspiration and positivity for you. On this episode, I am reflecting on the year that was 2023, reflecting on what happened with my business as a whole, the network of podcasts that I produce under the Ray Taylor Show banner, umbrella of shows that are the Ray Taylor Show. I'm also going to look back at the artwork and the events that I participated in, as well as the new edition of creating UGC content. I'm also discussing my week in general, as I tend to do. I will be talking about things that I've been watching this week, preparing for the show, and just watching casually. Also talking about some more crazy dreams that I've had, some changes that I'm making for my physical and mental health. As well as something, as always, something that I will be sharing at the end of the episode, something that I'm thankful for, as I do at the end of every episode of Rayz Dayz. That is what this episode will encompass. Will you join me? Will you join me this episode of Rayz Dayz? Let's take a short break from this episode. Listeners, if you're an art lover like I am, or simply somebody who appreciates unique creativity, I've got something you'll adore. Dive into the world of The Many Faces, an ongoing series of mesmerizing ink paintings on paper. Each piece is a captivating blend of abstract and surreal, always presenting a face that tells its own story. The dedication behind this series is unmatched, with new paintings being released daily, and if you're thinking about owning one, you're in luck. You can start with a 4x6-inch painting for just $20. And if you desire something grander, there are large sizes available with prices to match. Imagine having an original piece of art infused with emotion and mystery, gracing your space. So if you're intrigued, don't wait. Check out the entire collection and get your own at inspireddisorder.com. Own a piece of creativity that truly stands out. Now let's get back to the show. Let's start off with a look back at the year of 2023. It's all of the changes that I've made and growth that I've made with everything that I'm working on, one of which is, of course, managing my website, inspireddisorder.com. Made a lot of changes to the website, changes to the prices of all of my artwork, kind of simplifying how things are priced, kind of making more sizes available in certain price ranges. Also, in how I organize things, as well as the products that I have available through the website. Made a lot of changes through inspireddisorder.com to inspireddisorder.com to facilitate all those changes. Also upgrading to doing in-person stuff, in-person live shows. As a business, I was able to bring in income from multiple avenues as is intended, whether they be from online sales of my artwork and prints and shirts, to sales from live events, pop-up shows and group shows and things of that nature, to the videos that I post on YouTube and those being monetized, making a little bit of money from that, as well as starting to do user-generated content. Making money, taking pictures of myself, and all of those things. So adding a lot of new kind of revenue streams, I guess somebody may refer to them as, and getting to a point where I could actually survive just barely on my work. which is something that I have been struggling to do since I left the life of a day job. Um, been doing everything I can to just get by before the pandemic, driving Uber and Lyft and all the different food delivery things, just trying to make enough money to get by. And since the pandemic, trying to really finally uh, be able to survive on the money that I bring in doing my artwork, doing this podcast, and doing the user generated content. And I was able to make that happen. Barely. Like the margin of error was very slim. Um, so, in many ways, 2023, my most successful year. I did a lot of new opportunities opened up, especially at the beginning of the year, but that carried through towards the end of the year as well. So a very successful year for me in a lot of ways, which, for me, the end of the year tends to be a bit depressing, a bit sad. I have my birthday at the end of the year. Of course, the holidays, seasonal depression, all of those things can kind of contribute to being depressed at the end of the year and maybe having a negative outlook on what even happened, what you're even doing, what am I even doing with my life? And to take the time to look back at the year of 2023 and all of the things that I have done this year, it's my most successful year, which is kind of a crazy thing to say. And I'm glad. I needed it to be, and it was. Maybe it wasn't as successful as I had hoped, but small steps, small steps. I'm happy with small steps. As far as a look back on this show in particular, the Ray Taylor Show as a whole, which is not just Rayz Dayz, it is also movie and TV show reviews, it is also top 5, it is also TV episode recaps when those shows are in season. But this show in general, this network of shows went from producing 10 episodes at one point per week. There was, because of a lot of overlap with a bunch of shows that I do recap podcasts for, there were a couple weeks where I was producing 10 shows a week. And that was a lot of work and kind of burnt me out. And now I'm down to 5. Mostly down to 5 because I'm not doing any episode recaps, because the shows that I do episode recaps for haven't released anything new. So I've been, just doing the, movie reviews, top 5, all those things. But also because I got rid of Swipe Up, which is a show that was a show that evolved over the years. Started off as just an experiment to do a kind of screen capture of me browsing my Instagram feed and commenting on the different posts that I see. But then that turned into more of a produced thing where I kind of pre-selected the posts that I wanted to talk about. And then due to a lot of other changes like copyright and things of that nature, videos getting pulled down, I decided to turn that into more of a show where I commented on current events, mostly news, right? The closest that I've ever gotten to producing a news show was Swipe Up. And because of that, and because of my viewpoint, I am a liberal person. I am a leftist, right? I would consider most Democrats to be far too conservative for me. Like, I am in the far left, especially in the American spectrum. Even our most liberal, most progressive person in government is still considered to be pretty conservative by the measure of a lot of other countries. I'm pro-worker. I'm pro-person. I'm anti-corporation, anti-war. I'm pro-rights, human rights. And because of that, because of my viewpoints and because of my opinions on things that were constantly happening, and the kind of downward spiral our society seems to be on, I stopped doing that show. Not only because, just keeping up with all of the negative things, the ways in which our society is crumbling apart in slow motion, but also just seeing how evil people are. But also, I was tired of death threats. I just got tired of conservatives. These are conservatives. Like, this is the world we're living in, where my opinion on a show I produce would cause conservatives, not extremists. These are like people that take after Congress people, take after former presidents, where they feel very comfortable threatening the life of somebody they disagree with. Because I think maybe we should have gun laws. Maybe we should value human life, especially that of children, pursuing an education over a tool that is specifically designed to eliminate human life effortlessly, because people can't be bothered to put in the hard work of killing a human. They need a tool to make it effortless. They need to be able to just curl a finger in order to end human life. That is how little they value human life, that it could be exterminated with such a minute muscle control, one index finger. So yeah, I got tired of the death threats, got tired of just getting attacked in the comments by conservatives, and then looking in the news and seeing how conservatives are attacking every marginalized group and really eliminating freedoms and rights from groups that they don't agree with, and just seeing how the cult of Christianity is truly destroying this country. I had to stop. It was just too depressing, and it is what it is. You get enough death threats, and you're like, I guess I'll just put that on hold. But I'm happy with the current workload. It's nice, one, not having the stress of dealing with the fallout every week of Swipe Up, but it's also nice just focusing on the stuff I really enjoy doing that is effortless, like watching movies to rank for top 5. It gives me a great excuse to watch movies in a related category, which I find to be a very beneficial way to watch a lot of movies, whether it's by a certain director or subgenre or even an actor. It brings a lot to the movies that I'm watching, and makes it easier for me to get in the vibe of the movies that I'm watching, to kind of judge them and rank them on their own merits, instead of watching them out of nowhere and not really just understanding what this director likes to do or this actor likes to do. Also, reviewing movies, obviously, I'd be watching all of these movies regardless, so I enjoy, and it's still a challenge to me to write reviews, to grow and improve my movie reviews, how I want to talk about film, discuss film. Very challenging for me. So doing the 3 podcasts and movie reviews, top 5, and then of course this show, which is just a recap of my week. I love it. There are 5 episodes, 3 shows. I love it so much. It's a great workload. It makes it so much easier. Also upgraded my production equipment as well. Went 100% digital. I used to use a handwritten notes. I had a notebook, fountain pen, would write notes, every movie, everything I was talking about, keeping track of my week. All that was done in a notebook, handwritten notes, and I at first decided to go digital, to use the Notepad app on my phone, which syncs to all of my devices. So started doing that. And then during the show, I would still use whiteboards to write down like bullet points of things I wanted to talk about, which took a lot of time to transcribe things. And then since I was doing the Notepad notes, I decided to use those on my laptop and just to go off of those directly. Stop using the whiteboards. That way my notes can be as long or short as they need to be to accurately talk about whatever it is I want to talk about. And then in this year, I evolved that into using my iPad and a teleprompter app, which I'm using now. So now I can just write all my notes for movie reviews, write all my notes for this show as things happen in my week, jot them down on the note for Rayz Dayz, and then I edit those on Saturday. I kind of format them and organize my notes, and then I will export those to a teleprompter app, which I use, whether it's for straight up scripts, like if I'm doing a promo, like the ads, or if it's just bullet points, if it's just notes, like I'm using for this show. Um, and using a remote to let the notes scroll up or pause. I love it. I think one, having my notes right in front of me is very beneficial, as has been having them in my eye line, so I'm looking close to looking directly at the camera instead of looking down like I used to do with everything else. But yeah, the evolution from handwritten notes to digital has really changed things. Also changed the tips on my earbuds. I think I got new earbuds that go around the ear, but then also changed the tips on them to memory foam because they kept sliding out. Like especially during the summer, like my ear canal would sweat and the earbud would fall out. So I got memory foam tips. They work great. They stick in there like glue. So that's also been an upgrade. You know, uh, episode recaps will definitely be back when the shows that I'm reviewing, when new seasons come out for those shows that I've already started. Squid Game, Severance, The Rehearsal, Poker Face. If a new season of Dave comes out, I will cover all of those as well. Those will continue to go. And of course, if there is a show that really inspires me, I'm always open to adding new episode recaps. So, but right now I'm enjoying having a lighter workload for this show. But in all, I'm very happy and proud of the growth that I've made with the show over the year. Not only from the improvements production wise, but also the process, the pre-production, taking notes digitally, using the teleprompter, all of these things, formatting things, writing, how I write things, how I organize things. All those things have evolved over this past year, and it's been a really big growth year, I think, for the show for me. Also, looking back on the many phases, obviously the big thing is I finally started doing events again at the beginning of the year. Signed up for 111 Night Markets, which was a monthly nighttime street market with vendors and artists selling their stuff. Also doing Love Local, which was a monthly morning pop-up show affiliated with a church. But also doing events like the Flat Black Summertime Group Art Show, which was a great opportunity to do a group art show with amazing artists. Also, because of my connection with Flat Black Gallery, giving me the heads up to participate in the La Quinta Museum exhibit, Desert Views, where I painted with acrylics for the first time in I don't know how long, almost a decade since I've painted with acrylics. So to try and do my current style in acrylic for this museum exhibition was a great opportunity, which is still going on through January 27th in La Quinta Museum. You could check out my painting, part of the Desert Views, bunch of artists there. I still haven't gone. Artists, I'll talk about that later, but the artist reception is on the 20th of January. So if you want to come by and meet everybody, that's been a great opportunity. So many great opportunities that I had hoped would come back at the end of the year, but things didn't work out for one reason or another, weather-wise, or just the type of show and what I'm looking to do, and trying not to waste my time and money doing shows that aren't necessarily going to be likely events for selling artwork. But great opportunities nonetheless. And I have made it upgrades to that aspect as well. I mean, every show I did, I made little adjustments and tweaks to try and improve the way I communicate my artwork and the prices of my artwork and what I do and what everything is to the people, and made big changes that I haven't been able to showcase, upgrades, like banners and new signs and new power station to run my TV regardless of having access to a generator or electricity. Also, the addition of prints, not only having prints available at shows, but also being able to create the prints in-house. Got a high-end printer, using the same paper that I use for the originals, so they look so good. I am so proud of how the prints turn out. So being able to offer those just at the quality is the best. And the prints are limited to 5. They're numbered, they're signed, so they're very not only high quality, higher quality than was previously available, but also more valuable. So I'm super happy with that. As far as the work itself, my thoughts on the many faces and how the evolution of my style has gone, I'm very happy with the growth of that as well. Not only going back to 3 different sizes, 4x6, 6x9, and 9x12, kind of cycling through the different sizes again instead of just doing the 9x12s, as well as doing larger pieces in preparation for the group art show, has been challenging. I've added a few new techniques as well, which is always fun to add to the toolbox. And then, of course, I started using white ink very slowly. When this first started, I was just using black ink and a gray wash. And then eventually added yellow, then eventually added blue, then eventually added gold, got rid of gold, added red, finally. And now added white to do more highlights, kind of, make things pop a little bit more. It adds a little bit more of a dimension to it, which I appreciate the another tool in the toolbox when it comes to a very minimalist and scaled back and simple type of way I make my work. But I'm very happy with the growth of that. Despite the fact that I did take a break at the end of this year because of personal issues, just having a tragedy happen in the middle of the year and then having to kind of get back into painting in order to prepare for upcoming shows, I felt really burnt out and uninspired and just I needed a break. So I decided to take most of November and all of December off, and I'll start painting again in the new year. So second week of January, you should see new artwork coming back to the website, new social media posts finally going back to the different Ray Taylor art social media accounts. But it was a nice break, and I'm ready to get back into it for sure in the new year. With a new schedule, too, painting on Wednesdays instead of Thursdays. Kind of spreading my week out a little bit more instead of condensing everything as much as I was. And then also looking back this year, looking back at starting user-generated content in order to try and make some more money and survive and pay bills, was following a lot of people on TikTok that talk about side hustles. And this was one that I had tried out. This one that had been actually reviewed as being a legitimate side hustle that can actually make you money. So I signed up. Wasn't expecting at all to be doing this type of content, although it's something that I have always been open to, for sure, but wasn't expecting to be making money from it instantly. Definitely new for me, kind of stepping out of my comfort zone in a lot of ways, whether it's reading scripts, writing scripts, taking selfies with products, taking selfies in general. I'm not somebody who does that. But I enjoy product photography. I've done that in the past. I enjoy creating content. It's like a completely new, making like scripted content, completely new thing for me. Reading scripts, editing, producing videos that are kind of different than everything else I do. Um, and being able to make some money to do those things and to kind of get these cool products as well. Like that's part of the gig, not only to get paid, but you're getting these products for free. It's been really fun. And something else I'm excited to get back into in the new year. Again, took a break off, tried to get back into it, but it was too soon and just wasn't feeling it. So I'm really excited for the new year to get back into the things that I kind of took off for the end of the year and just, get things going again. Make 2024 the upgraded version of 2023. Take everything to a whole other level. Let's take a short break from this episode. Listeners, let me paint you a picture. Imagine owning a piece of art that's not only visually striking, but also exclusive. Dive deep into the world of the many faces, a series that's now available as high-quality, limited edition prints. Each piece captures the essence of abstract and surreal beauty, making it a perfect conversation starter for your space. What makes these prints even more special? They're all hand-signed and numbered by the artist, me, adding that personal touch of authenticity. And the best part, you don't need to break the bank to own one. Starting at just $5 for a 4x6-inch size, with sizes and prices that scale up, giving you options to suit your space and your budget. Art collectors, enthusiasts, or anyone who loves unique pieces, this is your chance. Elevate your walls and own a piece of limited edition artistry. Head on over to inspireddisorder.com and secure your exclusive print today. Now let's get back to the show. So as far as my week, enough looking back to the past year, but let's look back to this past week. What I've been watching this week, I've been watching a lot of Parker Posey movies, doing a top 5 Parker Posey movies episode coming up, and an actress that I've enjoyed in a couple things, but there's been a lot of movies she's in that I just haven't seen, and I am a fan of hers. And despite the fact that I've only seen a few of her movies, but always a fan when I see her show up and stuff. So it's been fun to go back. A lot of independent movies, a lot of weird movies. She has a range in her performances, which I appreciate as well. But yeah, I've been watching a lot of Parker Posey movies, trying also to kind of see potential favorite movies of the year that I've missed, trying to keep an ear out for the movies that people are talking about as their favorite movies of the year, movies that they think might be nominated for awards, and trying to watch those movies. As the year is almost to a close, I like to do a top 5 movies of the year. But at the end of the year, there's just so many movies. So I'm trying to get to those as much as possible, as much as they are available. As you know, some are still in theaters. Also watched Office Christmas Party. It's, this is coming out after Christmas, but it's today is actually Christmas Eve as I'm recording this. So I've been watching a lot of Christmas movies. Office Christmas Party is one that's a fun movie, fun comedy, raunchy Christmas comedy, which I really enjoy. Watched also Harold and Kumar, their 3D Christmas movie, which I absolutely love, and watched The Night Before, which is another great kind of raunchy comedy Christmas movie. And then also watched a lot of Hot Ones last night, specifically Flea. I talked about, I think last week or 2 weeks ago, how a tradition on my birthday is to watch the Red Hot Chili Peppers live at Slane Castle on YouTube now, which is where it's available. I used to have the DVD, but huge fan of the Chili Peppers, and Flea is amazing. My spirit animal is Flea. He is so awesome, and to see him on Hot Ones is just perfect. So I watched his episode. I watched not Paul Rudd. I watched Will Ferrell and I watched Mark Ruffalo. Those are some great episodes of Hot Ones, which is just so amazing. I mean, his ability to interview people is unmatched. Unmatched. He is almost like he is to pop culture interviews as Nardwuar is to hip hop interviews. Like there are deep cuts that always surprise people, which I appreciate that as well. So that's what I've been watching. As far as my week in general, started intermittent fasting is one of the things that I'm starting to do. I'm not waiting for the new year. My birthday, in many ways, is a new year, which happened this past month. So started intermittent fasting. Downloaded an app, which has been great. They have a bunch of different plans, different fasting plans, schedules, I should say. And I chose a pretty aggressive one to test out last week. And this is something I've done before, but this time using the app, it's very different, right? It's far different than what I was doing before as far as intermittent fasting. Much more of a basic thing. This is more challenging, but also because it's structured in the way it is, I really enjoyed the first week. I did 1 week of it. The times that I can eat and right, and can't really change my, like, it's, I don't know, like, it tells you when you're fasting, tells you when to eat, tells you when to not, gives you updates. Also, I'm tracking my water intake, all that kind of stuff. I really enjoy that. So there's, the way each day is different. Like, it might be one day I can eat when I wake up and I have to stop eating at like 2 or at 10 a.m. Like last Tuesday, this Tuesday is going to be the same thing. I can't eat past 10 a.m. and then I don't eat again until the next morning. Some nights it's like at noon I can start eating until 8 o'clock at night. Friday, didn't eat anything Friday. Friday was a complete fast. So Thursday, I was able to eat up until midnight. And then my fast started at midnight Friday morning and then went through like 6 a.m. on Saturday, which is fine. Because I, woke up and, later than 6 a.m. So right when I woke up Saturday, I could eat. I really liked it. Lost 5 pounds already. I'm tracking everything, tracking my weight, tracking my water intake. I'm taking measurements, all of my measurements, waist, chest, hips, thighs, arms, all of those things. And blending that with my meal kit service is going to be perfect, right? I just won't have to think about anything, right? I know the periods in which I can eat. I have the food delivered to me for me to eat. And then I don't have to think about snacks because I'm not snacking anymore. During a fasting period, I can drink water and I can drink unsweetened tea. No sweetener, no cream, just plain tea, which I don't mind. I got used to it, just drinking straight black tea. I got a bunch of other teas, like I have a toasted coconut tea, which is great. I have hibiscus tea, which I really love. I got ginger turmeric tea, which is really great. So I've got a bunch of different types of teas that I don't mind drinking without sweetener. And, it helps make sure I get the right amount of water intake as well. So I've been enjoying it so far. I can drink coffee as well, but I'm not drinking coffee anyway. But, yeah. So tracking my weight, tracking all my measurements, doing the weight, weighing myself weekly, and then measuring myself every other week. So it was nice. Tuesday, when I started my fast at 10 a.m., I made sure to make a giant breakfast. So I made steak and eggs with English muffins that had marmalade on it because, of course, I watched Paddington 2, and I have to have English muffins with marmalade on them, and just drank a lot of tea. And it was, it wasn't tough. Like, I got hungry, stomach growling, but then that goes away. I actually felt really great by the end of the week. So since I'm not drinking anymore, I felt I need to do something else because I'm the biggest, I'm the most out of shape, I'm the heaviest I've ever been, and I need to turn that around. And I started doing like really basic workouts too. Just kind of, I've figured out that I'm in the evening, kind of when things are winding down and I'm just watching stuff. I can do a quick like body weight workout. So I've been doing really basic body weight workouts, which is really sad how how a beginner body weight workout will just totally destroy me. So as I lose weight, as I start, working, moving myself more, I'm gonna be happy once I start feeling healthier. Um, yeah, but fasting really highlights how much I would eat, not only how much I would eat, but also how much time I spent thinking about eating, thinking about like what groceries to buy, thinking about what I'm going to eat, what I want to eat, just like because I feel like I should be eating at this point, like I'm going to sit down to watch a movie, what snack am I going to eat, right? And now because I can't, I just don't think about that. And it's amazing how it just opens things up, especially not snacking. Just similarly to drinking, not drinking alcohol, like it seems to have given me so much more time in the day to get things done. So like on Friday when I fast and I'm not eating anything, it's like, well, I'm just going to keep busy and just do all my work, do all my prep work on early for the show to make Saturday super easy. Like a day where I can eat, where I will be going back to eat on Saturday, like then I can just relax and eat whatever I want. So it's interesting how it's already impacted my week in a way that has had a positive benefit. So, and as well, in addition to that, after 2 years of not smoking any weed, and almost 2 years of not drinking, the second half of this year definitely did a lot of drinking, but for about a year and a half, I drank maybe a handful of times in that period. So being mostly sober the past 2 years, and because I'm not drinking anymore, I decided to give weed another go. Ordered weed last night, which using weed maps to order weed from a dispensary and just like the effortlessness to order anything. I can order weed, alcohol, food, groceries, whatever I want. I could order a car if I wanted to. It's kind of amazing the what you can just easily order from your phone. But I stopped during the pandemic because it was giving me a ton of anxiety and panic attacks. But that seems like a lifetime ago in a lot of ways, where my life during the pandemic was very stressful because of a lot of reasons. And all of those reasons no longer exist. So I figured, like, and I'm not drinking, so it's like, okay, well, what can I do that won't impact my fasting? Obviously, if it gives me munchies, whatever, but it doesn't impact my fasting. But also will help with my pain, if I'm in pain, or to wind down at the end of the night. Also, my dog's really old, and her getting a secondhand high will help her not have as much pain, help her, when, increase her appetite, all these things. So it has its other benefits as well. So we'll see how that goes. I smoked a lot of weed last night. Actually, didn't even smoke a lot of weed. I am very much a lightweight now. Going from a daily smoker, I am very much a lightweight. They gave me a free joint when I ordered my weed and edibles, and because I'm a first timer, and like just a couple hits, and I was blasted. And then took a couple more hits. It's like this joint's probably going to last me a couple weeks, which is hilarious because I bought a bunch of weed. So I don't know how long the weed's going to last. And I don't know how strong the weed I got is versus this joint that I got for free. And then I also got edibles. So, we'll see how it goes. Now that I'm not drinking, I'm done drinking. I just don't have any desire to do it. Maybe if a special occasion, if I'm somewhere and whatever. But in general, it's just not. I just hate it. Just doesn't do anything good for me. I'd rather smoke weed, and as long as it's not giving me panic attacks or anxiety, then I'm good with that. It's a much healthier. Doesn't impact my health like drinking did. So we'll see how that goes. Dipping my feet back into that. And it'll also be interesting to see how, after doing all of the things I've been doing for the past 2 years, basically sober, it'll be interesting to see how weed impacts those things. Not that it ever impacted my productivity before. I was smoking regularly while producing this show and producing my artwork on a regular basis. But it'll be interesting to see how it impacts those things. I think it'll be actually positive in a lot of ways. And it's not something that I'm going to be doing it regularly. It's going to be like a nighttime thing, I'm not going to be high all day. I just can't. Knowing I need clarity, I think, for a lot of my day. And at night when I'm looking to wind down, that's the time, I think. And on days where I want to take a mental vacation, that's the time. So we'll see. I'm sure I'll smoke while I paint sometimes, and we'll see how that impacts my painting. But it'll be interesting. Be interesting now that I'll have contrast. I'll have comparisons to make. As far as dreams are concerned, on my trip, I had a dream where I had a trip with a friend to some island, doing a couple kind of insane drives on this island, almost like these, like driving the car up like almost a incline. But these are like ancient ruins that we're driving on, almost like it's like a video game where you have these like weird loop-de-loops and stuff like that that are built out of like ancient ruins or whatever. So in this dream, me and this friend were driving like half pipes, driving vertical, and like making it far around one of them, but like losing control, and the car goes tumbling down, flipping, right, nearly landing on the hood. Then there's a second time we're driving up some cliff, but losing control again and crashing back down, and kind of the feeling of that as the car getting totaled. And then like meeting my girlfriend back, which I don't have a girlfriend, but in my dream I had a girlfriend back at the resort, but super scared and disappointed for some reason. And we had like this local contact, this person that was there locally that was organizing everything for us. And he found it disrespectful what we were doing, driving on those ruins, and wrecking the car and just kind of leaving it. And then my friend telling this guy, it's a once in a lifetime opportunity to do these things that he had always heard of, like driving in these crazy areas. And that he had insurance for the rental car, so it's okay, despite the fact that he could have easily died. We both could have easily died both times. And my girlfriend also upset because she lost her father, who did that once and crashed, and a brother who's paralyzed from it as well. Just like a very weird, kind of sad dream, but like one of those dreams, like when we were in the car doing those driving, it was like exhilarating. Also had a dream where I see Bert Kreischer, the stand-up comedian, on a freeway, or on the freeway of the fairway, I should say, of a golf course community, and then beyond him is a bear running towards him, right, running towards the back, like his back is turned to this bear, and the bear runs right past him, right, and then runs over, and then I run over, like it runs, this breezes right past him. I run over to see if Bert's okay, and I said that was a bear, or he says that was a bear, like stunned, and we both run into like this house that he is renting that's on like the fairway, this house that's on this golf course. And we run inside, and it has like a sliding glass door. And we look outside, and we see the bear. And we're asking each other what the bear is doing. And then cut to the bear like shaking off his legs like he's getting warmed up, like he's getting ready to run at the sliding glass door, right? And then we look over and we see this giant tiger comes up right to the sliding glass door. And then when it turns, Bert decides to open the door and is like taunting this tiger in some ways. And like I'm asking, what do you think you're doing? And he's taunting this cat, right? And now the cat, this giant lion, is also joined by a mountain lion, right? That's getting closer and closer to the open sliding glass door that Bert's like taunting these cats with. Like, is it open? Is it closed? And the mountain lion's head is like peeking through, and he's like pushing the mountain lion's head out of the door so he can close it. And it's like so stressful because it's like, what are you even doing? Just Bert, shut the glass door. Then he gets like close the glass door, but then he closes the screen door to the sliding glass door, and it's like then the cat starts swiping at it. And we get the screen door closed first. They start swiping at it, cutting it open, and we get the glass door shut. And then I wake up from my dream, and I say, "What the fuck are you doing?" We could have like I am scolding Bert in my dream as I wake up. Like I woke up so that my body, my awake body, could scold Bert. I'm laying in bed, waking up. Just like, what the fuck are you doing? We could have been killed, Bert. Just a crazy dream. I don't know. I've been having weird dreams. As far as my mental health, pretty focused on the intermittent fasting. So I've been pretty good, I think. So being focused on the fasting, in addition to not drinking, obviously, cooking good, healthy food, healthy meals. I've had a very good week mental health-wise. Although towards the end of the week, kind of starting to get a little depressed as it gets a little closer to Christmas. That's why I decided to order the weed, because I was like, well, like this would be when I would be like, fuck it, I'm just going to have a drink. I was like, well, let's get some weed instead, and then just kind of go into the holidays high, and maybe that will curb my depression in some ways. But not really feeling manic like I've unlocked the key to superpowers like I may have been in previous weeks, but also, more calm and level-headed this week, for sure. But as I like to do at the end of every episode is talk about something that I'm thankful for. And this week, I am thankful for second chances, which also sometimes are third or fourth chances. But the idea that failure is always an option in anything you do. Trying is the most important thing. Giving the effort, making the effort to just try. But trying again after failure is really the place where you grow. Coming back after failure, you identify the reasons. Hopefully, you make some adjustments, and that's where growth comes. So hopefully learning from my failures and my mistakes. The only way to guarantee failure is to quit. And, I refuse to quit. I'm pretty stubborn. So I've had a lot of chances. I'd rather just keep trying, and eventually I may find success. I've gotten really used to failing. It still hurts. I'm not impervious to it, but I'm far more accepting of it, because I have failed and I've started over many times. But each new start goes a little bit better than the previous attempt, right? So they end up being small steps, right, in the direction of my ultimate goals. So keeping trying, having more chances, and those chances come from trying. Getting up, dusting yourself off, trying again, right? I've produced so many podcasts over the years that have failed. I've built up audiences that have disappeared. I have had a lot of highs and lows, but this journey that I've been on as an artist and a podcaster, I think I keep getting better and I keep growing. And I think because I see that growth in myself and in my work, it gives me fuel to keep going and keep trying. So that is what I am thankful for this week. Chances, second chances, third chances. Upcoming events, live painting every Wednesday at 4:20 Pacific time is coming back in 2 weeks to youtube.com/inspired disorder. So go subscribe to my YouTube page, and I will be painting Wednesdays at 4:20, second week of January. Also, now until January 27th is the Desert Views exhibit at the La Quinta Museum. Go there and check out all the great artwork, including a piece that I have up entitled One of Many. And January 20th is the artist reception for the Desert Views exhibit at the La Quinta Museum. So come by and say hi on that day to check out all the artwork and meet the artists. And you can always go to inspireddisorder.com/events for details on all of my upcoming live and local events. I'm also thankful for the opportunity to connect with all of you through this podcast and for the chance to share my journey with you. Please join the conversation by leaving a comment or rating on your favorite podcast platform. And of course, you can do that over at youtube.com/inspired disorder as well. Thank you for tuning in, and I'll see you next Saturday for another episode of Rayz Dayz. Subscribe to The Ray Taylor Show on YouTube and everywhere podcasts are found. Binge the full week ad-free over at inspireddisorder.com/plus. Purchase Ray Taylor Show merch over at inspireddisorder.com. Have a wonderful day, everybody. Peace out!
Today is the day where you wake up and you realize that everything that you've been dreaming about, everything that you've been wanting, every goal and wish and hope that you've ever had can become real. Dreams can come true. What you manifest in your mind, you can bring to reality.